Hey, friendos, welcome back. Hey, Static and Eben and Entropy and Proto. Did I miss anybody? And Ogre, hey, Ogre. Yeah, sorry about the noise. Give us a second while we fix this crap. I think we figured out what the issue was. I mean, I think we had the issue figured out last night. So our splitter can operate under, you know, plugged into the wall power, or it can draw power from the things that it's plugged into. And I think part of the reason that we've been having this problem off and on for so long is it gets enough power from the switch when the switch is in the dock. The switch was not in the dock yesterday. So I think we have it. I think we're good. What were you doing that the crap got weird yesterday?
I was checking your adding, making sure you could do the other stuff.
Oh. So yeah, I want to finish up the last door today. I definitely am interested in part 2. We'll see how the last segment goes. It seems like they're getting a little it seems like each one is a little longer, or maybe I'm just getting maybe they're a little harder, so I'm taking a little longer on them. Oh yeah, you totally can. There's a closed caption button. I forgot where. Somewhere down on the bottom of my So on the bottom of the video player, on the right-hand side, you got it. Okay, good. An iguana fell into the canal. That's beautiful. Okay, so what have I got here? I am right. Okay. So it seemed like I'm kind of expecting this one to be like an hour. And these are kind of meaty. Not just for me reading, but they're kind of beefy segments. So maybe we don't jump right into part 2, but we'll see. I don't have it and I didn't download it, so you guys would have to stand here and watch me pick my nose while it downloads, but I probably wouldn't. You know what? Why don't we just figure it out when we get there? Problem solved. Hey, Walker! Okay. It's worth processing. Okay. That was kind of my thought, but I also figured if I tried to, like, I wouldn't want to end quite that early, but if we switch over to Pokemon, everybody's just gonna be confused. Like, mentally, spiritually. If you could dig a hole from one side of the earth to the other, I feel like going through that middle part might be a problem. Thanks, Entropy. I do love my emotes. 6 is just a miracle worker. Oh good, we do get a recap. I was like, how do I give a recap about this game? Previously on The Last Door. I keep forgetting I have to click and be a part of this. After escaping from his burial, DeVitt finds himself in a cellar of London's darkest slum, the Old Nickel Rookery. In his pocket, he has a ticket for a show called The Four Witnesses. DeVitt walks through the misty streets following a strange man who seems to guide him. He learns the legend of the Simurgh, the king of birds. Following its trail through a dreamlike land of fog, DeVitt finally meets Alexandre, a member of the secret group DeVitt and his friends had at school. Oh, I guess I have my non-ideal glasses. Andre welcomes DeVitt and speaks of an entity called Bird that has been calling them ever since the experiment they conducted back then. There is no turning back. Oh, good. Yeah, I love being in a chair in a basement. Yeah, that's what I like. Oh, I'm somebody different now? I have made my mind. I've made it? What is it? Oh no, I'm ready. Oh no. Please stop making me kill people. Go on, do it. Do it! Do it! DeVitt. Well, the first opening part of the game, we had to hang ourselves. So... kinda. I am people. Can you see all these stars twinkling in the black outer abyss? All the constellations traced by human eyes in long-distant eras? Look now to the forest in the valley, to the old tower. From the last tree in the distance to the stars in the sky, and even the stones beneath our feet are just silhouettes that hide the truth from our poor senses. Ancient shadows that hang over the veil that hides the world. As if it were a curtain of a theater, the veil separates the truth from the lie. The veil is a place, Devitt. A place of mists. Anthony's great abilities brought you here, but his influence will soon fade away. The mask of lies will descend over your eyes once again. You must find the door, as I did. The door that gives passage through the veil. Open it, and we will walk together beyond the mist. It definitely has mindfuckery parts. I obviously cannot judge for you. The beginnings are definitely the most, or the intros are definitely the most mindfuckery. So if this is, well, the intros and the outros, so the middle will probably be okay. But yeah, it's Lovecraftian horror. If you have to recuse yourself, I totally understand. I suppose you're wondering why I called you so urgently. I cannot deny it. Your letter was truly mysterious. I've been traveling, Doctor, to Scotland. Have you heard about the massacre of St. Gall? Why, yes. The tragic event has been the continued object of speculation and grim rumor in every newspaper in England. You know what? I don't even know which pixel is me right now, because this isn't who we were. I think the one on the left is the Doctor. I'm not entirely sure who the one on the right is. For weeks now, pamphlets have claimed that all kinds of macabre things took place. But I don't understand. How is this all connected with my patient? Yeah, okay, so on the left is our doctor. He was there. I'm afraid he's one of the victims. Dear God! Are you telling me my patient has been murdered? Murdered? Thankfully, no. Please excuse me for alarming you. I did not mean to give you this impression. Herr de Witt was attacked but survived. Oh, okay, so this is the German person who I kind of wasn't really sure who it was the first time we talked to them. What happened to him then? It seems the criminal was caught by Herr de Witt in the midst of the act. Then he tried to do the same thing to de Witt that he'd done to the others. Fortunately, the nuns arrived in time to unearth him from the coffin. Herr de Witt was hospitalized. The nurses report that he remained unconscious for an entire day. Sweetie, that's nothing. What was de Witt doing there? Many years ago, the St. Gall Hospital was a boarding school. It appears that both your patient and Mr. Beechworth spent part of their youth together there. We can assume that Herr de Witt was investigating something. He believed he'd found a clue related to his friend's death. What was the cause of these awful deaths? No one knows for sure. All the victims were inflicted with terrible wounds. All of them had an expression of utmost terror on their faces. I suspect you did not find Mr. de Witt in the hospital. Indeed, he was already gone by the time I arrived. I've not been able to determine his whereabouts since. I see. What conclusions did you draw from all these circumstances? I have some theories, but I would prefer not to reveal them until events have unfolded for gameplay reasons. In all of them, there's a fundamental element whose role has not been yet revealed. And what leads you to this conclusion? It's something that the Holy something that the Holy Sisters found beside Herr de Witt within the coffin. An empty hypodermic needle with traces of an unknown substance. That wasn't the morphine that we used to kill the other guy, was it? Probably not. Probably what they poked us with. Oh, okay, so then maybe that That poking that we just experienced was before we got buried in the coffin. Okay, so this is us. This is Devit. I'm sure this is the place. Alexander's house must be just ahead. The ancient castle of Pevensey, is it Pevensey or Pevensey? I don't know, rests in the distance. It was a garrison first built by the Romans but was abandoned and has been a ruin ever since. Hey, Oliphant. There's a large iron bar latching the door. It's quite odd that the door was latched from the outside. A beautifully crafted steel greenhouse. It's old but still in good condition. Well, this seems like a bad idea. Let's leave. It's never let us walk around in the dark before. That's interesting. The house lights are on. Someone must be home. It's latched. I can't open it from this side. No one is answering. Perhaps I should just go inside anyway. I'll just tell the household that I'm an old friend come to visit. A strange woman stares down at me, glaring with a silent reproach at my intrusion. The copy editing could be a little better. Footsteps. There must be someone upstairs. A well-crafted grandfather clock, but it seems to be out of order. One of the hands is missing. It could be Pevensey Castle, but in this painting the garrison is not in ruins. A couple of old teacups sit on the table. One of them is full and still warm. An oil lamp. Good. Just some old bottles. The cellar door is locked. I need a key to open it. An ancient stone well. A rope hangs inside, disappearing into the darkness below. The rope is broken. I'll keep this end. The bucket has dropped to the bottom. The bare branches of the tree stretching to the sky break the night in 1,000 pieces. It looks like someone was buried here. I can't dig with my bare hands. Can't or won't, buddy. Can't or won't. Oh yeah, no, I'm just being a jerk. One of the constantly most frustrating things for a pedantic son of a bitch like myself in regards to indie games are just like, I wish I could have helped you. Can I help you? It may have taken all day, but I finally made it to Alexander's house, and just in time. Soon it'll be pitch black. This pane looks as if it had been broken from the inside. Well, nothing has killed us at any point, so we should be safe. A jar of vitriol oil. I must be careful, it's a powerful acid. I'm gonna put it in my pocket. A statue of an angel covered in mold. It's glancing at me with a sad gesture. Oop. A statue of an angel with its wings spread. Its head is missing. Sexy. We didn't take off our coat this time. Well, I guess we didn't last time either. The silhouette of a man. It bears a strong resemblance to Alexander. The silhouette of a woman. A figurine of an angel facing the wall. A fine painting of the local Roman structures. They somehow seem more ancient in this depiction. Hey, lady! Yeah, I wondered if it was going to be a problem for us as we were walking away. Alexandre! There's a scribbled annotation on this piece of paper. The veil is something we sense in our innermost being incessantly. In vain do we waste our lives craving to tear through. It is... Ja-Elathal? The curtain behind which the great wings beat. Inside its ancient mist, inhabit the shadow of those who left. Oh, cool, a child shouts from outside. The table holds nothing but a box with the description laudanum to be taken in case of anxiety. Can't someone prescribe me some opiates? It is empty. Oh, I wouldn't want to talk to him because it might trigger something. The cuckoo clock is covered with dust. It seems to be missing an important piece, the bird. The face of the clock has been turned. Can I turn it back? Oh, do I have to remember this? Should I make a note? Probably, right? I don't have anything anymore. Where's all my stuff? We did more packing today, and we planned what tomorrow's packing is going to look like. It's always depressing to have a sad day and then have a sad day and tomorrow. Okay, so it's... Good enough? I do have chat, you're right, you're right. A misty dock overlooks a gray ocean. Gulls wheel overhead. Alexandra, it's me, David. I'm sorry if I startled you. Is everything all right? Why are you sitting in a wheelchair? Are you hurt, maybe? Can you stand? He's staring blankly at some distant point as if he has not heard my question at all. See? He's insensible, so who cares if I rifle through his stuff first? You told me I should come here, and I came as soon as I could. Can you tell me what's happening here? He gives no answer, but persistently stares at something nearby. He appears to be in some kind of hypnotic trance. When I was downstairs, I could have sworn I'd heard footsteps. Were they yours, or is there someone else in the house? For a moment, I felt a flash of hope that he was looking at me, but he's unresponsive. Alexandra, please, say something. I don't know what to do. I don't understand. Just what happened to him? He looks miles away. A portrait of an old man, maybe a ship captain? It looks like he's trying to guard this chest with a stern glare. A huge chest made of oak wood. There's a large iron hook inside. There was a fragment of a diary under the hook. August 15th, 1887. I can't work in the basement anymore. Those wretched sculptures, I feel them stalking me in the darkness. I know it's not possible, but I can hear the crunches, the flapping wings, stone grinding on stone. Their frozen paroxysms with what diabolical art were those gestures conceived? An eternal movement, a tension, an impossible struggle to get back the life they never had. I might place them outdoors in the greenhouse and let the mold devour them and wasps make nests of their hollow hearts. Cool. I hope it's not a weeping angel thing. We were there. They didn't do anything to us. A camera tripod. Pictures hanging from a cord. They look as if they were improperly developed. You can hardly distinguish anything. A basin with a copper drain. It looks like some kind of red-tinted glass cover used to mask the lamp. It's completely shattered on the floor. A lamp is hanging from the ceiling. Its bulb casts an intense white light. The image of a couple wearing rat masks for a festival. A glass jar containing a yellow substance. The label reads cyanide. Shove that in my pocket too. Yeah. It's a big book of home chemistry recipes. A few pages have been bookmarked and some articles are underlined. Colloidion for photography. Colloidion is the vehicle by which the photographic chemicals are united upon the surface of the glass and the sensitive coating produced. Many formulae are published for this article, to which great value is attached, some supposing that to its peculiar composition belong the principal causes of failure or success. This only in a degree true. To develop a positive image. This is done by pouring upon the plate about 1 ounce of the vitriol spirit solution and only then adding 5 or 6 drops of the cyanide acid. Then the plate must be thoroughly washed in water to remove any excess of the chemicals. 3150, the causes of failure. They would almost require a chapter by themselves. A long experience convinces us that 9 out of every 10 failures occur from a want of care, the presence of dirt, negligence. One cannot be over-nice, careful, or cleanly. The best result is always rewarding the most painstaking. If a mistake is made in the order specified in the formula, quickly flow clean water of the plaque and start again. An instrument whose workings are beyond my knowledge. Okay, we don't have any negatives yet. A bust with his face turned around. A large envelope of black felt covered in dust and ashes. It's labeled with a warning, do not open it under white light. It's a letter. Dear Alexandre, I have excellent news. A contact from the university has given me access to a 12th century alchemical tome containing an amazing formulary. There's no doubt that sometimes mere contemplation takes the mind to places that otherwise it would never have visited. Leafing through the grimoire and marveling at the exquisite illumination of its pages, I've been struck by a sudden epiphany, a radical but elegant method that I have decided to try. Forgive me for not providing any information about the method itself. As soon as I get definitive results, I'll write to you immediately. I believe fortune has truly smiled upon us today. June 8th, 1887. A picture of an angel with a gentle face. This seems an invoice. May this document serve as a record of the payment made corresponding to the following work. The cuckoo clock mechanism has been modified to give the strokes exclusively at 6:15 in the afternoon. 6:15 in the afternoon. In addition, a special device and a switch have been added to synchronize all clocks in the house. The shelf is lined with strange and complex books. Some titles include The Movements of Shadows, Preserving the Mind, and Lessons Beyond Nature. Okay, so we can't even manipulate that until we have the other hand. Within the mud and dirt inside the bucket, there was a small bird of brass. A little brass bird. When shaken, it makes a noise as if there was something inside. Whoops, wrong door, but that's fine. The bird fits perfectly. This is the same, so I can't do anything about this. Okay, so we need to be able to open this, but in order to do that, I'm assuming it's photographs or negatives in there. We have the chemicals to deal with it, but we need something to deal with the light. One ounce of the vitriol, and then 5 or 6 drops of the acid. The tag on the envelope advises against opening it under a white light. Does this count as white light? It's a diary. This is the last thing written. The last pages have been ripped off. October 12th, 1887. It's been a while since I can't devote any time to this diary for reasons beyond my control. An event most tragic has taken place in this house. Mr. Dupre has gotten ill, immersed in an everlasting stupor from which it seems he shall not return anytime soon. Since the accident, I patiently take care of him. The doctor's treatments don't seem to do any good. I feed him like a child and make sure that all of the sculptures in the house are turned towards the wall. What else can I do? The clockmaker just left. He's done such a good job. In the end, Mr. Dupre is not going to be able to notice the changes in the clocks that he so insistently requested. In his state, time will not be a problem anymore. Looks like a diary of a member of Alexander's household. What happened to them? A pantry with spices and ingredients. Old ruins lay by the path. They seem to be Roman in style. Oh boy. The corpse of a deer, its abdomen torn open. It looks recently dead. This is a bad idea. This is a bad, dumb idea, and it's not gonna work. Now the bulb is grossly covered in blood. And when I put it on, it's gonna get hot, and it's gonna start to burn the blood, and it's gonna flake off, and it's gonna be a white light in about 10 seconds anyway. Alidus, why do you have so much familiarity with what happens when you put blood on a light bulb? Hey, Samuel. I'm pretty sure Grid has had some just pretty remarkable nosebleeds, is all I'm saying. That's true, Proto. One ounce of vitriol, 5 or 6 drops of cyanide acid, wash. An image is appearing on the plate. It's a photograph of Anthony and Alexander. That got me. That got me a little. The sink now has a dark stain on its surface. The light bulb has exploded. The image is back in the frame. The same. The same. Alexander, do you recognize this photograph? Take a look. It's you and our old friend Anthony, and there's someone else blurred in the background. Who was the third figure? Does he mean something to you? The bird awaits. The bird awaits. A piece of clockwork, a hand. He's breathing heavily. He seems to be lacking air. I've put the clock hand in its place. I only need to set the clock to the correct time. Did it say 6:15? Well, because I know what I have, but... That's 9. I'm stupid. Nope, that's not what I wanted. That's true, the quarter turn rotation. Wait, what? It was... So yeah, it said 11:15. Right, which would make it 8 p.m. Right. Okay. Sorry, I just was trying to overthink what you said. But it did say 6:15 for when they are supposed to cuckoo. So I wonder... So what would 6:15 here be? Come on, brain. Six. Yeah. So that. Great. Awesome. Hey, Sitha. Oh, that guy's dead. Oh, nope, but he wiggling. The clock mechanism is definitely broken. The bird has burst out at the stroke. Now its beak is open. There was a key inside the bird! It's a small key. He's having some kind of seizure. He's trembling out of pure horror. Well, bye, friend. In your house, going in your basement. Alright, alright. A dusty carpet of Asian origin. Mold and dust cover the portrait, making the subject indistinguishable. This piece of fine furniture has several drawers. Inside this one, there's a gardener's shovel. Oh, thank goodness. The cabinet has a large stain of mold due to the high humidity of the atmosphere. Is this Resident Evil now? There are remains of a Roman mosaic behind this wall. I can't distinguish anything clearly. An ancient statue in poor condition. Old ruins. It seems they were part of the Roman settlement. A book written in a language unknown to me. There's a scrawled annotation with it written in English on one of the margins. This and no other is the function of the serum we manufactured at the boarding school when we were young. It's something that we didn't understand at the time, to accompany the mind to the proscenium of the big theater and there help us to look behind the curtain that separates the world of men from the land of truth. To look, I say, if anything, to apprehend an image of what lives there. Just that. Will the hopo allow us to raise the curtain enough to walk off the stage and go beyond? Innumerable jars full of murky objects suspended in formaldehyde. A huge cage full of leftovers and dirt. Animals have been captive here. Jars and test tubes. Everything is soaked in chemical residues and the air is filled with the smell of vinegar. There's clearly a hole behind this. A bunch of dust-covered beakers with repulsive liquids. A few of them have developed fungi inside. Unlabeled bottles and lab equipment. Like, it's right there. There's a door back there. I can see it. Don't forget the laundry. Yeah, thank you. The lock is very rusted, almost shattered. Where's that shovel? A wooden box. It seems too small for a coffin. The lock still resists. I can't open it by hand. The remains of a humanoid body, but with a grotesque animal aspect. Maybe a small ape? It has a collar with some engraved words on it. Old Mike. Besides the corpse, there is a paper leaf. Dear Alexander, undoubtedly your methods are definitely stronger than mine. How do you manage to get results with such alacrity? On another note, my epiphany with the treatise of alchemy was not accidental. When examining the text closer, I've come to the conclusion that for a time, Raymundus Lully sought the same thing as we did. In his account, he describes a formula that he calls hoopoe. Yes, like the legendary bird. It closely resembles the serum with which we have worked so far, except for minor differences. It's a pity what you tell me about old Mike. I hope he gets better soon. I think he didn't. The skeletal fingers of the creature are clutching a rolled-up canvas. It's a map of the stars. It's some kind of navigation map. Several constellations are marked. Oh god, that sounds like Alexander. Alexander. Some diary pages on the wheelchair. The paper is ripped apart as if someone had stripped it off the book hastily. October 31st, 1891. I'm writing this in the light of my desk lamp, hoping to be able to remember it all when the birds finally sing and the sun's blessings dispel the dark shadows of the mind. During the whole afternoon, a strong wind hit the valley, so strong that it had cracked the larger branch of the old oak in the garden. I find it hard to get sleep during these nights, so I read a lot while accompanying the professor. I don't really know when exactly I fell asleep. I was awakened by the chill of the night, which was seeping through the open window. I looked outside and saw him. The professor was miraculously awake. What was my joy to see him standing on the balcony watching the valley with a true, serene expression, enjoying the fresh and calm air right after the storm. I felt that a blessing had fallen upon this house, and for a moment I felt immensely happy. I stared at him for a while without saying anything, being afraid of dispelling a vision I hadn't believed possible for a long time. And then, in the midst of the silence, I heard a sound that froze me in my seat and snatched all my calmness with such a terrible chill that I will never forget. A loud noise beside me, low-pitched as the drag of a slab. Mr. Alexander's snore was pleasantly asleep in his bed. I've already made a decision. I'll leave this house. A statue, it's holding something. It's a lens mounted in a metal ring. Starlight brings some brightness to the forest. Probably back down by the tree. Mrs. Now, gentlemen, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the Ministry of Silly Walkthroughs, new friend. Oh, Mr. Snow, gentlemen, is there... Did I say it? Which way is right? What have I said? Okay, maybe the crystal in the tree? No? The large branch broke off. Maybe we have to... It's interesting that we got to keep these. Are we actually looking at the stars, or are we looking at that mural in the basement? Well, this is correct. What was that? What did I say? I told you it was a door. There's a mountain of compacted snow. There's a dark hole in the center of this room. It delves into the depths of the earth far beyond what I can see. A wooden secretariat desk, beautifully carved. The flip top has no knob or lock, just some strange symbols. A narrow window in the ceiling of the vault. An open envelope with a letter inside of it. Dear Alexandra, I'm terribly sorry about old Mike. Will you put him to rest in his favorite place? After weeks of unsuccessful attempts, I've managed to distill the alchemical formula based on the notes you sent me. Certainly you're a master of the craft. The subject reacted to the serum as usual, rapidly entering into a state of waking sleep. Suddenly, the convulsions stopped, and since then, he's not been responding to any kind of stimulation. He's remained in this state for many days. My diagnosis is brain dead. Which should be our next step, Alexander? I'm worried this could be the end of our research. The crystal fits perfectly in the telescope. All right. Yeah, no. Got it. Hmm. All right, then I need these, right? Correct. This is the summer triangle. So it's... And then... And then... Sure. Ah, crap. There's a small cabinet with 2 slots for syringes. Only one of them remains. The voice again. It comes from the bottom of the pit. There's nothing else here. Alexander! There's a chair in the middle of the room. This seems like a bad idea. A variety of surgical instruments and some jars with chemicals in them. No? This is what you asked me to search for, is it not, Alexander? Am I right? The last door. Jalialto Lathal? The last door we can cross together. What shall I do? I'm waiting for you. Here, in the mist. It's nearby, I can hear it. What's nearby? What do you hear? I hear the beating of its wings. It knows we are afraid. I'm ready. Sit down. Yeah, right in the neck. Do you think that we'll find any clue here about DeWitt's whereabouts? DeWitt's whereabouts? The police must have taken almost everything, but we have no other leads to pursue. Hopefully they've overlooked something. What about this room? Where did my mouse go? There's a sealed letter between this table and the wall. It looks like Hera Beechworth never sent it. I think it's best that you read it. Dearest Alexander, please, you must reflect on this. We do not yet know what we're dealing with. If you were to open the door, it may stay that way. An open way for whatever lives on the other side. Oh shit, did we finish already? I guess it has been like an hour. Nice. Extras. Oh man, oh, complete mini-sodes. Oh, okay, so there are mini-sodes. Okay. Five tarot cards. What? Okay, well, I definitely want to do these then. Here I have the police and medical report. The latter is still blank. According to the police, the deceased's name is Father Ernest Glynn. The man immolated himself. There must be something wrong with the water pressure valve. An anatomical model built of actual human bones. The sky is cloudy outside. We will see if the police report is right. Good lord, what a mess. The skin is all scorched. Cause of death is probably shock caused by the sudden burns. A horrible way of passing. What could lead a man of God to commit such an act? All that remains is to file the medical report so he can receive the proper treatment a fine gentleman deserves. Really? This is what an autopsy is? I look at him with my eyes. The case still puzzles me. If he wanted to commit suicide, why did he do it in such a painful manner? That's fair, the 1870s, you're right. That's basically all they did. Is there a body there? Yep. Cool. Was he drugged or intoxicated? I should check his stomach for signs of poisoning. There we go. Alright, the stomach looks fine on the outside. Now I should cut it open to check its contents. What's this? There's something strange in here. It looks like a piece of paper. That's such a good noise. It's a note. Gary Metal Sound. Ernest Glynn, Jeremiah DeWitt, Alexander D. Hugo Ashdown. A crumpled note with 4 names, one of them crossed out. I think I should inform the inspector immediately. Where the fuck were these tarot cards? After being certified of your guilt by a peer jury, we found you guilty of the wicked and violent murders of 14 innocent and sick people. Because of this sentence, I am hereby authorized to execute you at this very moment by hanging to death in the sight of God. Would you like to make a final statement before we proceed? Why will you say that I am mad? You should have seen how mercifully I proceeded. With what love? Oh yeah, you're right. I saved them, I released them, now they're in a better place. Do you still believe I'm mad? I guess we didn't get to see all of those, but I wasn't sure why. Oh, yeah, you're right. I wasn't understanding what that was. She is the only survivor. What happened to the others? They're all dead. I would like to talk to her. She's spoken only nonsense since she woke up. A number of remedies in china and glass jars. There's no doubt that this is a Catholic monastery. Good afternoon. My name is Johann Kaufmann. I'm a doctor. Would you mind if I asked you a few questions? Please be careful with what you ask. Ms. Parnell's state is delicate. I am perfectly fine and able to talk, sister. Thanks for your consideration. Now, doctor, God, sorry, guys. Now, doctor, I understand you want me to repeat my story? I would be thankful to hear it indeed. I'll stay outside if you need me. Deuces. I am a sane woman, doctor, in complete control of my mind and reason. You do not dare to question it. I certainly wouldn't. Then I will commence. I woke up in the dark. The room was small, so narrow that I could touch the wooden walls just by raising my elbows. Could you recognize the place? I couldn't tell at first. For a moment, a most dreadful thought crossed my mind. What if I'd been buried alive? When I got out, I found myself in my parents' house. I hadn't been there since they sent me to school. Did you see anyone there? Your parents, or maybe someone you know? No, they were not in the house, nor was any servant I had known in the years of my childhood. I was alone. I could feel the humid air on my skin and could smell the scent of the long time abandoned. I walked the rooms, unsettled by the silence. The place had the bleak feel of a ruin. And then I saw someone. In the opposite end of the corridor, an old woman stared at me. An old woman? Who was she? How should I know? I hadn't seen her before. I followed her out through the back alley and into the streets. I got lost in the burg of Aberdeen. The streets were deserted and a thick fog covered everything. I thought I'd seen the old woman through the fog once or twice, but they could have been just shadows. So the city was empty? No, not completely. I met some people, vagabonds. One of them was a priest. I remember a novelist and a boy, too. Tell me more about the novelist. The woman had never written a word. She created only in her mind, you know. She could tell the stories sentence by sentence with perfect precision, and I could even hear a piece of her last work. Do you remember anything about the novelist's work? Yes, the piece she told me was something like, "The shadows of the past soon melted within the land that loves silence. Through the fog they walked, found themselves lost." Hoping for a sign from their gods, they set camp to the beach where 30 birds awaited to meet their crowned. So the boy, what about him? I came across an abandoned carriage. The horse was long dead, its bones still harnessed to the cart. There was a young man petting the carcass of the animal. Could you talk to this young man? Oh, he was deaf, but I think he could read my lips. When he spoke, he did with a clear accent. He said he could only listen to the songs of the departed. Well, this priest, where did you meet him? I met him in a stable. Good Lord, he said mass there among the beasts. Could you imagine the profanity? What happened then? As I walked, the fog got denser. I could barely see anything around. I finally met the old woman. She didn't say a thing, but gave me a cardboard card. Then she left. She gave you a playing card? It was one of those used to tell fortune. There was a drawing on it of a veiled person holding a lamp. Then the mist seemed to clear out and I could finally see. What could you see? A barren land bathed by roaring waves. There were thousands of birds. And then I realized there was something else. What was it? It was there. It looked at me. The burning dark inside, the shaking, the scream. That vision that I cannot understand. What is it, Doctor? Have I finally lost my strength of mind? I believe you. I am sure what you lived was real. But, what?
This was on the counter nipping the chicken.
That was on the counter trying to eat chicken that we have out for dinner? Excuse you.
I saw him from the bedroom.
Well, that is very forward, mister. Shame. Shame upon your ancestors. But I'm afraid that I currently lack any proof that can confirm your account. I am sorry. I should leave. Thank you for your time. Wait, Doctor, I have something else to say. When I first woke up here, there was something beside me. Would this be enough proof? It looks like a tarot card. Huh. He does not look dead, but just asleep. I barely knew him, busy as he was traveling the world. What would be of a man with no aspiration for the other side to inspire or lead him? This is so sad. He was most dearest to me. You know, your father was a complicated man. He had a strong character and was stubborn as a mule when he had taken a determination. He believed he had a mission in this world, though I'm not sure he knew exactly what it was. That which avoids description, the unknown, provides men with a reason to exist. We are busy. We will speak later, young man. Poor cousin. I'm pretty sure no one ever treated the child of a deceased like this. I knew it would come to this. Your father was a terrible mess of a man. I am only grateful that he brought you to our home. Soon enough, not long after you were born, I hold no doubt that you will learn from his bad example and grow up to be a righteous gentleman. What could there be greater than the efforts of mortals to rise from their miserable condition? Why did he do this? This is a most sorrowful day. Mr. Beechworth was a great man, lad. This is an obscure domain, its secrets taken by man from the silence of nature and death. You're the young Beechworth, is that right? Your father left you everything, Anthony. The house, his accounts, and all of his belongings for you to receive when you come of age. He was very specific in his testament, though, that you should receive this promptly. His personal book log. These are the memoirs of my life, my research, and my knowledge of the other side. Use them wisely, son. How did I miss some of these? I thought I was so thorough. Jeez. Yeah, the record player's possibly a problem. Okay, so I'm assuming that I did the tarot thing wrong. If I chose them in the right order, maybe we would have gotten to see all of them. Fail to escape your destiny. I don't understand what that is either. Oh man, I just want to like go back and find all this stuff. Yeah, that's what I was guessing the short path was also. Man, this was awesome. I really enjoyed this. 7:30. What do you guys think? What do you want to do? We can play some more Last Door. We can play some Pokemon, or we can play some Hades. Anybody have an opinion? Actually, why don't I... I'm going to set a poll.
Thank you for helping us help you help us all.
Thank you so much, Rhino, for the raid. Welcome. I'm going to set a poll so you guys can vote, and then I'm going to go to the bathroom. I'll be right back. Well, I definitely didn't realize that the poll had a time limit, but that's good enough. Mordor wins! So I guess we'll hang out for a second while I download that. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it will. One hot second.
Tick, 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 tick. It is at the bottom.
57%.
Done.
Done. Oh, sorry, Rhino. Yeah, I didn't realize they had time limits. I thought I was just going to come back and then cancel it at the end, but it seemed to have a time limit.
Timed out right as you sat down.
Yeah, I didn't realize, so too late.
Ooh. Ooh, full screen.
I can full screen. Graphics quality. Fantastic! Play! We'll fix it, don't worry. I should have stopped after the second episode last night. I knew that's what I should have done, but I didn't because I was really into it. Even bigger. It looks like there's more pixels here. Man, that's awesome. Done. Hey Dab, the last do indeed. Alright, options. Okay, music was really loud last time. These are exactly the same. Yeah. I'm reading all the things out loud and I really like the font like this, so I'm just gonna leave it. If anybody, like I said last time, if anybody has any upset, please let me know. I will change it. Previously on The Last Door.
Slam!
Jeremiah DeWitt, alerted by the suicide and mysterious letter of his friend Anthony Beechworth, went in search of the memories of his past that he had lost. Oh, do whatever you want, Dab. Go for it. Have a ball. DeWitt discovered that in school he'd taken part in a strange experiment. Its goal was to peek through the veil, the thin line between common reality and the world of horror and madness that lies beyond, under the watch of the Eye of the Bird. During his search, he was inoculated with the drug they'd used back then. The serum made DeWitt's mind travel for a few hours to the dreamlike realm of the Veil. There, he met his old classmate, Alexander Dupree, who urged DeWitt to join his cause and cross with him to the realm of the Bird. When DeWitt woke up from his trance, he found himself deeply convinced by his friend's words. He traveled to Dupree's house, where he discovered his friend had dosed himself with a new serum, leaving a catatonic body behind. This new drug was capable of transporting the mind permanently to the Veil and beyond. Finally, DeWitt found a vial of the serum and had it injected. He met his friend again in the Veil, and together they walked through the last door, entering a world forbidden to human eyes. DeWitt's therapist, Dr. John Wakefield, worried by his patient's disappearance and strange visions, had sought the help of his colleague, Professor Johann Kaufman, an expert in the occult. Searching Anthony Beechworth's house, Wakefield and Kaufman found a disturbing returned letter in which Anthony had tried to warn Alexander Dupree of what could happen if the door was opened. He feared something from the other side might then come to ours. They're coming. None of us could prepare for this. The visions, screaming, were merely a warning. And now it is too late. They're coming. Maybe I should have opened the door first. Last night I had the nightmare again, but this time it was different. This time he talked to me. This feels like, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde on the NES. It was the same unknown street, void of any sound and life. I walked aimlessly as if I were lost. Then I could hear it. The broken tromping on the wet cobblestones, the familiar sound of approaching, limping footsteps. And then, as before, he stood in front of me, gazing unrelentlessly, like he was expecting something. Unrelentlessly? This time he spoke. Give me back what he took. Nothing else. Give me back what he took. No, I've fallen asleep again. What time is it? Dawn already. It is time. Where's my mouse? It was several months since Kaufman and I had found that mysterious letter in Anthony Beechworth's house. A letter never sent, with a cryptic warning of what would happen if a certain door were opened. It bore only the name of the addressee, Alexander Dupree. We felt sure that Dupree was key to finding my patient and friend, Jeremiah DeWitt, who had disappeared in such strange circumstances. Troubled by the death of his friend Anthony, DeWitt had visited the school of his childhood and had never been seen again. Kaufman soon conveyed to me his deep concerns and warned that I should conduct any investigations with the utmost discretion. He pursued his own research, though his thoughts and methods remained a secret. In his last letter, he requested that I visit East Hill Lunatic Asylum in London. There are reasons to believe that Alexander had been institutionalized there for many years. I was asked to confirm his hypothesis and, if it proved to be correct, to gather whatever other information might arise. Ooh, we get a map. Oh, those is cute little badges. So this is the East Hill Lunatic Asylum. I hope I can find information on Alexander Dupree here. Ladies and gentlemen, don't miss the latest news in town. I suppose we are in London. We're not going to have like a Boston crier. East Hill Lunatic Asylum. Nope, I didn't need to do that. Here we go. Illustrated. Good morning, boy. Will you give me a newspaper? Yes, sir. It's a sixpence. I don't have a sixpence. Can you make change for a shilling? I'm sorry, sir. I can't, but you know where to find me when you have the coins. What can you tell me about this building? The asylum? I've never been inside, and I hope I never will. It's full of crazies, you know. Have you seen anything unusual around here? No, but maybe if you bought a newspaper. About the asylum, maybe if you bought a newspaper. Fuck you. Is there a shilling in the street? Is there a sixpence in the street? That's how it is in all of the books that I read about poor British orphans. This enormous stone building is East Hill Lunatic Asylum. Stop leaving. Good morning. Ah, yes, a lovely morning. Sunlight of a quite fascinating character. I beg your pardon? The light, it makes everything look different. You see, light touches things, soaks into them, and changes their nature. Makes them shimmer or makes them die. Do you live here in the hospital? I do indeed. My family is a generous benefactor to East Hill. They had me committed, but I don't blame them. They're just incapable of appreciating my art, or any art, for that matter. They mistake it for insanity. What are you drawing? I am not just drawing, my friend. I'm trying to feel the light, to translate its power to the surface of the paper. Those animals don't like it, though. They don't want me to succeed, so they take them away. They take my drawings and they study them and they laugh, because my eyes can see the light and theirs are blind. But someday everyone will understand. Who are they, the ones who take your art away? Those foolish caretakers. They hide behind a big mirror. Where they think themselves safe, and they look at me. They observe me. They even take notes. Would you happen to know where your drawings are now? I suspect they're somewhere in the archives, since I've seen confiscated items taken there before. You seem different from the rest. Can I trust you? I've been trying to sneak in for days now, but Mr. Riskwell keeps a tight guard on the door. I even stole a key from one of those guards. You're a doctor. Surely you could gain entry. If you could recover my drawings, I would be so grateful. Here, take the key with you. My name is Dr. Wakefield. I'm looking for a man who lives here some time ago. Would you happen to know one Alexander Dupree? The name does not ring a bell. I've not been here long, though. You should ask the other patients. They may be able to help you. Some have been here for many years. Or you could ask one of the others, the brutes who keep us here. Have a nice day. Inmate quarters. The large door is made of strong metal. It must lead to a secure ward of the hospital. That's not this key, right? No. Locked. An oil picture portraying Dymphna, patron saint of the psychiatrists, but also of those who suffer neurological disorders and victims of incest. She was killed by her own father, who chopped off her head after she refused to marry him when her mother died. The rose window brings a solemn air to the room. A serene, bucolic landscape with gentle colors. A bookshelf. These books are not volumes of psychiatry or medical science, but old serial novels for patients to read. A portrait of a severe-looking man, most probably the founder of the Institute. Good morning, madame. My name is Dr. Wakefield. I'm a psychiatrist. Oh my, good morning. Forgive my manners. I get so excited when we have visitors. We don't get many these days, and certainly we're lacking experts like you. What do you mean you lack experts? Oh, every year we get less funding from the Crown. First the doctors started to leave, then it was the caretakers. Now very few remain, but we have a responsibility to our poor patients, do we not? We must care for them. They cannot be out living with the proper people. We must keep ourselves safe. And our patients too, of course. I'm looking for a man who used to be a patient here a few years ago. His name is Alexander Dupree. Did you perchance ever meet him? Alexander Dupree. Yes, there was one with a foreign name. I remember something of him. A good man, if I recall correctly. An educated man. But there was something strange about him, wasn't there? I believe it scared or I believe it's, what? Scared some of the other patients. You never know with this lot. I'm sorry that I can't remember much. There have been so many people here, it's hard to keep track. Have you worked here for long? Oh, yes, a long time. I can scarcely remember how many years. Time goes slowly in here, and the isolation... The rules don't allow us to leave. I don't know what is happening in the world anymore. But we have our duty, do we not? Who else will care for our patients? May I request access to the Institute's archives? There should be some information there about the man I'm looking for, Mr. Dupree. I am sorry, Doctor, but the archives are private. We must not allow anyone to access them without the proper authority. Many of our patients come from good families, you see, and we take great care to respect their privacy. But do not look so crestfallen. You would not find much in any case. It's a long time since they've been organized. Our work here takes a great deal of discipline, Dr. Wakefield. I'm sure you appreciate. It is rewarding in itself, but, oh, I do wish I had something to occupy my mind more to help me pass the time. How that would ease my burden. I shall not bother you then. So this is probably the archives. Yep. This must be the recreational wing, where patients relax and pass the time. Perhaps here I can find someone who met Alexander Dupree when he was institutionalized? The stone bust keeps the patients silent company. A sunny beach lapped by the waves of a gentle sea. A marble bust of Hygia, Greek goddess of physical and mental health. A cheerful pastoral scene. A man wearing a worn-out military uniform, lost in God knows what thoughts. The warm decor of this room suggests a great deal of sensitivity to the patient's moral needs. A warm decoration of... Oh, yeah, we did that. A variety of old-fashioned landscapes that portray nature as tame and welcoming. It's odd that only this window is shuttered. The curtain casts a mottled shadow over this corner of the room. Excuse me, sir. I could not help but notice your uniform. Were you in the army? Leave me alone. You do not want to talk to a coward such as myself. Sir? Leave me alone. I'm just a coward. Good morning, madam. My name is Wakefield. I'm looking for a former patient of this institution. The rumbling. She doesn't seem to have noticed me. Madam, if I may persist, have you been living here for long? The rumbling. I'm looking for a former patient of this hospital. You may have met him. An eyeless gaze. I'm looking for a man that you may have met. His name is Alexander Dupree? What a strong reaction upon hearing Mr. Dupree's name. She must have at least met him. How can I get her to talk to me? Ms. Cohn is very upset. Please, do not distress her further. Good morning. I'm a psychiatrist, Dr. Wakefield. Quite an impressive institution you have here. Can I ask for your assistance? I'm looking for a former patient of this institution. His name is Dupree. I'm sorry, sir. I've never heard that name before. Maybe one of your senior colleagues could know something about this former patient? Well, you could ask Miss Riswell in the entrance hall. She's been here for years, maybe for too long. You know, we caretakers live here with the patients, and we're not allowed to leave the asylum's premises. This life can get to you if you don't take proper care. I try to keep as much distance as possible from the lunatics. The asylum is quite big, and I can't help but noticing there aren't many patients around. Well, apart from those in the isolation ward, it's true that there are not many patients at present, but there are even fewer of us caretakers now. We're only 3 for the whole hospital. From what I've been told, in the old times the income was enough to provide for everything we needed. A complete staff, proper accommodation for the patients, and the best doctors. But as the newer, bigger regional asylums were built, the Crown's support was gradually withdrawn from East Hill. Soon everyone started leaving, and this is what remains. Yeah, not sure why they're not allowed to leave. That seems like a problem. There's a thin piece of metal holding the window open. Dark as the room is now, I can see through the false mirror. There's a man on the other side, heavily restrained, desperately trying to free himself. He has an expression of unbearable horror on his face. Looks like a therapy log. Edward Roan, 27, acute dementia. September 25th, 1891. Mr. Roan's condition has degenerated since the last session. He's restless, as if the morphine had no effect on him. For the last week, he's been obsessive, troubled for reasons unknown. September 25th, 1891. The patient's dosage has been doubled to no effect. September 29th. Dr. Weddell has been attacked and bitten on the face. 4 men were needed to subdue the patient, Mr. Roan. 3 markings were found on his body upon examination. Self-harm is a possible cause. October 3rd. Mr. Roan is getting better day by day, both physically and mentally. His habits have changed considerably. He now shows an interest in religion and spends his time murmuring prayers, albeit ones unknown to my colleagues and me. A glass jar full of transparent liquid that may or may not be water. There's a coin resting at the bottom. That may or may not be water. Today's Illustrated London News. The first headline is about a grim case. Scotland Yard keeps its silence about the ambassador of Turkey found dead last Saturday under mysterious circumstances. Our sources suspect he may have been murdered. The second, sea monster found in St. Ives. The remains of a serpent from the deep were found on the beach early yesterday morning. It's suspected they come from a seaside museum in Spain, destroyed a month ago by the sea waves during a terrifying storm. There's another drawing advertising an operetta called Love Brushstrokes. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, 100% DWX. No joke. Oh, thank you kindly. How thoughtful you are. This is the hospital archive, where a record of each patient must be stored. If Mr. Dupree was really committed at East Hill, his file should be here somewhere. The portrait of a restrained patient surrounded by caretakers and a doctor. That's a great picture to hang on the wall. It's been a long time since this desk was last used. It's covered in discarded papers and pens and a noticeable layer of dust. The drawers are all locked. Really? The cabinet contains many documents detailing the treatment of patients ranging from 2 decades ago to last year. The file's right here. Dupree, Alexander, room 108-A. All the files are missing. It's as if he'd been torn out. Only a little piece of paper remains with an address written on it. Paul Street, 26. Could that be where Alexander Dupree lived before he was committed to this hospital? Paul Street. I should follow this new lead and see if it takes me somewhere useful. What's wrong? Let's see. All the dates of this cabinet are prior to 1870. I'm looking for a more recent file. A metal locker. A small sign reads seized objects. Some personal effects, probably sent in by the patient's families but deemed unsafe by the caretakers. One of them is a stack of thick sheets of paper carelessly bound, bearing the drawings and paintings of a troubled mind. Watercolor paintings and drawings of different subjects. A tree, a vase of flowers, something that could be a portrait, but the colors are dispersed, shapes broken, decomposed and mixed in a whirl of bright flecks. Only a couple of pictures and their frames. I can't do the, like, double click to walk out of the room thing this one. Oh, there we go. There's the double clicky. Yeah, it wasn't giving me that for all of them, and I'm not sure why. Here, are these your drawings? Great wonder they're back! Someday they will understand light and shape as I understand them. Thank you, my friend. If you want, take these cardboard sheets. Thanks to you, I have no more need of them. A few cardboard sheets lie on the bench. Each shows a perfectly symmetric design in black ink. Each one with a large, symmetric patch of black ink in the middle. I've heard of this technique, but always thought it an eccentricity. Patients are supposed to see in them the deeper causes of their ailment. This is the first card. The shapes look organic. Almost like insects. I would say this could be a face. You don't say. Light, it floods the world with shades. Sent via IRC. Oh, is that why I'm not seeing them? Bummer. About the asylum. Alright, you know there have always been voices coming from the place at night? Crying, singing, and the inhabitants cursing like damned souls. That's the usual. This night was different. It was all silent, I tell you. Not a single noise in the whole street. I looked at the madhouse and saw all the windows black, no lights. Everybody asleep in that place? Now that's strange. Then I heard it. It was a scream like no other I've ever heard. Not of a man or a woman, but of a devil from hell. Well, that's very curious indeed. Thank you for telling me. Yeah, no problem. I, who apparently live in London. This door is number 24. I'm looking for number 26. Number 26. This is the place I was looking for, but the door is bricked up. I must find another way to get in. Hall Street. It ends here at this corner. The windows are so thoroughly cemented over that it almost mixes with the facade. The ruins of an old chapel apparently destroyed by fire. A mess of wooden planks and the remains of benches and chairs. There's someone on their knees praying, their faces covered by a hood. An improvised altar covered in candles. With this candle, I can light my way through the dark. Looks like this hole leads to the building next door. This must be the interior of the bricked-up building I saw on the street, Mr. Dupree's former residence. The door is bricked up. I cannot tell who's depicted on the portrait since it's so badly damaged. It seems someone crushed it into the floor. A military medal. There's a relief of Her Majesty the Queen and several pieces of metal engraved with the names of battles unknown to me. I'll take this with me. Maybe it'll mean something to one of Alexander's fellow patients in the hospital. Wow, thank you for just giving me that answer. There's something among the ashes. The piece of paper. Looks like some kind of message, but there's only one half here. The paper has been carefully burnt. There's a piece of paper on the table. The paper shows some seemingly random letters. It seems like half of it is missing. This is strange. I've put both halves back together, but some letters seem to be missing from the right half. The message doesn't make any kind of sense. One man in high-rank uniform. He's missing an arm. Few books remain on the shelf, mostly doubtful treatises in chemistry and alchemy. Among the titles are Trithemius's De Lapide Philosophico, Gerber's De Invention Veritatis, the anonymous work Turba Philosophorum, and Ludwig Prin's Mysteries of the Worm. Mysteries of the Worm. I want to read that one. A large metal safe. Looks like the safe is working fine. I should give it a try. Four, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. So is that 6 and 5? What's the saying that they keep giving us? Actually, that's a different phrase, so never mind. What's you? Is that... No, that's not... Nope, that's not it. Because I would kind of expect that second word to be Cilium. C-I-L-L-I-U-M. Not that I have any reason to think that. We'll come back. Oh, did the name sound like something on the paper? Well, one of them I think was Latin. I don't think they're related. The wooden cross remains almost intact. Okay, then what are you thinking? Because this VI, the discolored VI, should be 6. And then the V should be 5. But we need 3 numbers for a combination, right? Unless we just do 515. Oh. Well, that doesn't make sense. Oh. So 6145. God, which way do safe start? There we go. Nailed it, Ron. Perfect. Game solved. It's empty. Wait, This is not a safe, but an entrance to a passage. It's completely dark. The only way to know where it leads is by crawling in. Oh, claustrophobia. Mathematic formulae written fast and carelessly. Some of these symbols I've never seen before. 4 chairs forming a circle as if the hideout serves some sort of meeting place. A list of numbers. It looks like some sort of calendar or timetable. A strange machine built out of wood, steel, and glass. I wonder what its function could be. There's someone sitting here wearing a horrible mask and a yellow robe. He's not moving. It's only a yellow robe. There's no body inside at all. What can be the meaning of this? There was a paper on the ground, though.
Non esaudit tu nessa eculu, quena da tua corrente imprazia, tu implorante in auxilia, tu pretente suffragia esse delicta, nostal inimati confidencia te, Virgo Virginium, mater currimus, atte venimus, curande gementes peccatores assistimus, noli mater verbi, verba nostra desficere, seo di propitia texauti. Memorae opissima Virgo Maria, non esaudit tu nessa eculu, quena da tua corrente imprazia,
Creaking of the machine has stopped.
pretente suffragia esse delicta, nostal inimati confidencia te, Virgo Virginium, mater currimus, atte venimus, curande gementes peccatores assistimus, noli mater verbi, verba nostra desficere, seo di propitia texauti. Memorae opissima Virgo Maria, non esaudit tu nessa eculu, quena da tua corrente imprazia, tu implorante in auxilia, tu
Was that, Oh, what's the prayer about Mary? Not a Catholic. I think it was just in... Did you say Spanish? Or a Latin language? Took a creepy turn. Oh, don't you worry. There is more creep ready. Yeah, Hail Mary, that's the one. I thought that was just Hail Mary in Spanish. Okay, so... It feels like there's something else to do in there, but I guess I don't know what. It's not like I don't think we can come back here. I want to go back and give the military man his medal. This medal. I had one just like this. Got it after the Battle of Lang's Neck and Majumba Hill in 1881, a decade ago now. For distinguished conduct in the field, it said. What a farce. So you were in the army, as I thought? Allow me to introduce myself. I'm Dr. Wakefield. Sergeant William Conghill, Her Majesty's 6th Light Infantry. Are you another one of those alienists? Do you doctors not realize that cowardice cannot be cured by your arts? Why are they keeping you here? The doctors say I suffer from a nervous disorder. I believe this is a term for when they themselves, with all their learning, do not know what to say. But I know the true name of my sickness. It's pure cowardice. I'm looking for a former patient of this hospital. You may have met him. His name is Alexander Dupree. Yes, I did know a man by... Yes, I did know a man by that name. We met briefly. He was here when I arrived. What do you know about him? He was a proper lad, educated. He listened closely to the stories of the other inmates, but kept his own to himself. We talked a lot. He was very close to Miss Cone, too. I think they got here at the same time, but when he left, he did so alone. I wonder what has become of him since. Who is this Miss Cone? Oh, she's a patient here. The lady with a tempestuous character. You may have encountered her already. She's not been the same since Mr. Dupree left, you know. She always sits to the side, alone and silent. I doubt you could talk to her at all, even if you tried. She sees things, or at least she thinks she does. What did you talk about, you and Mr. Dupree? We talked about my time in the south of Africa. I don't like to talk about that, but he somehow made me want to. He was persuasive. He was very interested in one specific story, almost obsessive about it. He wanted to know every little detail. Could you tell me that story? I'm trying to find a patient of mine who's gone missing, and this could be my only hope of finding him. I don't like to relive those memories. A missing patient, you say? All right, maybe my story will be of some use then. It happened during the Battle of Majuba Hill. I'm sure you've heard of it, in March of '81. The attack of the Boer army had taken us by surprise, and our regiment was forced to split up. We quickly found ourselves alone, just a few men lost on the barren plain, but I don't want to bore you. Oh, no, sir, you certainly aren't. Please continue. As I said, we were few, and they were sure the enemy was lurking out there. In the cold air of dusk, a thick fog formed quickly, masking everything around us. We could barely see each other. Oh, sorry. I was like, yeah, and? Then the others started to disappear in the fog because my driver forgot to click on the screen. I could still hear their footsteps for a while, then nothing. I called their names aloud. Okay, that was fast. I felt something there, not far. A murmur or a beating, something alive, waiting. I couldn't help walking towards it. All of a sudden, my feet felt something in the mud. A body. They were all there, dead. Only Captain something I didn't catch survived. My mic is showing? Oh, I know. I don't care. It does that. It's at the perfect face distance. Then the mist cleared out. What had happened? I never knew for certain. I didn't see anything, or if I did, my mind refused to bear such memories. What happened to Captain Skid? When he finally regained consciousness, it was like someone else looked out at us through his eyes. I guess whatever happened affected him, changed him. I know he came back to London. Mr. Dupree asked me of his whereabouts. Maybe he tried to contact him to hear the rest of the story. He was quite preoccupied by it. Do you know where I can find Captain Skid? The last I heard from fellow veterans, he's lost himself to a frenzy of alcohol, opium, and bad company. This downward spiral led him, as many others, to a wretched nadir, a dirty hole deep in St. Giles' Rookery known as the Crimson Nest. Mayhap you will find him there, alive even if you're lucky. Here, this is a picture of our regiment. You can see him there. Oh, okay. The isolation ward for you this time, madam. Off you go. The place of the playwright. Well, that didn't go good. I'm sorry. That poor woman. They must have taken her to the isolation ward. Shit, I wonder what would have happened if I gave her these instead. It seems to be important to solve the mystery surrounding David's disappearance. I should keep it to show to Kaufman when we meet again. This is a dumb idea. Oh dear. Not much light manages to reach this room. Hello, my name is Wakefield. The butterfly is not what it seems. Excuse me, but what butterfly? There is more after the scarab. It looks like a fly, but it is not. A scarab is not what it seems. Is this the butterfly you talked about? It displays its wonderful colors, fills your eyes with awe, but it is only a show. Behind the veil, its body crawls on the dirty ground, hides in the darkness and transforms. Another of its lies. So what would this be? Its dark body creaks and rustles with its blind movements. Slowly, step by step, it gets closer and closer and closer and closer. What about this one? It will come, whatever you do. It will cry out loud, looking at you from everywhere at the same time. What about this one? Him. Him? His mask. My mate from the other room used to scream at night, as always told us he could feel something under his bed. A presence. An eyeless gaze. Okay. Nope. An old pendant on the dresser. It looks valuable. An old tarnished silver pendant. Oh, crap. Thought it was the dresser. An expensive-looking piece of furniture. There's nothing on it. An impressive painting of a lovely maiden. It's equipped with a fitting, magnificent frame. A mirror covered in dust. I wondered what things it's seen in this room. Would this be the room of the patient's mate, who was afraid of a presence under his bed? Oh. Hang on. The door is closed for good with bricks, like they were pretending it never existed. They didn't even try to disguise it. A bunch of bricks. Either the construction is recent and not finished, or they were in a hurry to seal this room. The door is shut and locked. There's no way to open it. There's something written on the wall. One of them came last night. I knew what it actually was because of the sign it carried. The sign of the eye. I killed it and hid it well. If more come, they will not find their friend nor its eye. The door is bricked up. Why would they do such a thing? The window's sealed too. Almost no light can reach the room. I doubt anyone has slept in this place in a long time. This is the slum of St. Giles. The Crimson Nest shouldn't be far. Damn it. The soft glimmer of the street lamp casts a comforting glow on an otherwise empty street. This man, he looks like the man from my nightmares. He's blind in one eye. The empty socket glistens in the lamplight. He seems to want something from me? In my dream, the man said, "Give me back what he took." He's still staring into my eye. The pendant does not seem to interest him. "Give me back what he took," he said in my nightmare. He looks to the mask for a second, only to stare at me again. He doesn't look like anyone on this picture. I doubt it has ever been his. Well, shit. Is it the eye? Hmm. Oh, there we go. The text is completely smudged. I can't read it. Just kidding. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, I was kind of expecting her to find, expecting to find her again, so. Hmm. What am I missing? We could go back to the first person in the asylum and see if the pendant will do anything. Nope. Hmm. Hmm. Well, I'm a little stumped now. I was expecting there to be a way through this room. The last thing I required was the pendant. I think I tried everything with him, and I know I gave him the candle. A man is striking the glass strongly with his fist. His expression is of pure hate. I don't think he can see me, but I feel that somehow he knows I'm here. I don't know how to get to that other door. I don't know. What do you guys think? Hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I wonder if I, like, screwed myself or something. Or I'm missing something? Yes. Yeah, let me know. Okay. An old tarnished silver pendant. Yeah, right? Thanks, game. Thanks. It didn't say it was a locket, it just said it was a pendant, so I'm gonna assume it's a pendant. Oh, okay, I was gonna say. I did talk to him after, yeah. He told us about a weird occurrence at the asylum. Gibbs, what are you doing? Yeah, I found one use for the mask. We, showed it to this lady and she freaked out. Take care, Entropy. Thanks for hanging out. Huh. Oops. Come on. Yeah, I don't know what to do. I don't know. How much more hinty can we get? If it's somebody, I guess just tell me. I don't know. I'm stuck. I can't interact with the bed. There's no interacting with the bed. That sucked. That sucked. I get it. I appreciate it, I guess. But that sucked. I cannot get it out with my bare hands. It's too heavy. Thank you. There's something there, half buried in the soil under the tile. A long dead bird, just feathers and bones. It's holding something in its beak. A dirty and horribly deformed glass eye. There's nothing else in here. Well, that made me think that since I could keep interacting with the bed, that there was something up with the bed. It didn't seem like I could touch the tile, only that I had to walk over it. And that's been unlike anything previous? I guess? I don't know, maybe it was me. Maybe I'm not allowed to be salty about that. Yeah, something just a little bit more, I don't know, something. This must be the Crimson Nest. I've heard of such places where people lose their minds to opium shipped from the Orient. I never thought I'd set foot in one. The small window casts a little light into the alley. There's something disheartening about its feeble glow. An addict, completely asleep. What's the matter, madam? My husband, he's unconscious. Please, dear, wake up. I'm a doctor, please let me see him. I'm so sorry. He's not breathing and he has no pulse. Your husband passed away hours ago. No! No, it can't be. Walks away. Madam. I'm late. This time I couldn't save him. What do you mean this time? I discovered my husband's addiction to this hellish drug they call opium months ago. At first I thought he was sick, as I saw him grow thinner every day. When I discovered he was visiting this place, I was very worried. I tried to dissuade him, but he wouldn't listen. The addiction was stronger than he was. At times he was away for days. I'd come here and find him passed out. The only way I could wake him was to put these smelling salts under his nose. Now it's too late. Take the vial. Maybe I'll be in time to save another soul from this curse. The pungent fragrance of lavender's smelling salts clears the brain, steadies the nerves, and counteracts faintness and weariness. It's invigorating, always a delight and a comfort. How do smelling salts work, like physiologically? I've never quite understood that. A man with a lost gaze, his mouth open. A woman looking at the roof with her eyes going white. She's muttering some ramblings. The musician is intoxicated with the drugged smoke that fills the air. The repeated arrangement gives the sensation that time flows slowly. A short-haired woman smoking without worry. Hello, I'm looking for a man who I believe frequents this establishment. A war veteran from the south of Africa called Skid. He is writing on a slate. Can you understand what I'm saying? He has written "can't hear," so I suppose I should communicate with him by writing on the slate. Looking for Captain Skid. Don't know. He doesn't know the captain's name then. He's written something else. Object of value. What does he mean by that? A man lying on his back is breathing raspy and layered with phlegm and other liquids. The smoke has eaten away his lungs. The man is curled up under a blanket, trembling as if he was freezing. It could be an effect of the drug. This young couple seems to have come here together to enjoy this despicable vice. Oh, it's literally like a reflex-based kind of thing? Interesting. I mean, I knew what they were made of, it seemed like a... then you wake up! Like, that seems weird. Oh, I can't help these guys. Okay. It is my dream to faint someday, so... A table with several opium pipes on top. Some of them have been used recently. A Chinese screen with a floral ornament. That's a fair point. It's Captain Skid, no doubt. He's unconscious, but he still breathes. What's the matter? Who let you in? Get out! My name is Wakefield. I need to talk to you. Are you Captain Skid, Her Majesty's 6th Light Infantry? That title belongs to me no more. Who are you, and what do you want from me? Leave me alone with my misery. A soldier that used to serve under your command told me I might find you here. William Congill? Oh, I remember him. We served together. I've made many mistakes trying to forget those years of my life. Now I'm afraid those memories will follow me to my grave. I'm looking for information about a man called Alexander Dupree. I used to know a Dupree. He was not a man, but a fiend. What do you want with someone like him? There are certain secrets that are better left undisturbed. A patient of mine has disappeared. Alexander is the only one that may know his whereabouts. If it's true that Dupree is involved in your patient's disappearance, then I'm afraid the matter is out of my reach. Yours too. Now please leave me alone. Have you ever heard the name Jeremiah DeWitt? I must find him. DeWitt? No, I have not. I found your medal. It was in a house on Paul Street, door 26. You were there, right? You think you know what you're doing, but you cannot imagine what you're getting into. I am asking you for the last time. Leave and forget this matter. I will not leave until I find the answers I'm seeking. Tell me what I want to know. You fool. That's... for the devil's sake. All right, if you want to ruin your life, you're free to do it. What really happened on Majuba Hill? Sergeant Congill told me the story, but his details were confusing. I'll never be able to forget that day. Nobody knew what really happened. Command decided that we must have been ambushed. Now I know better. There was something in that fog. Something that didn't like us entering its domain. A sentinel of some sorts. That thing is what killed my soldiers. How did you meet Alexander Dupree? I was in the Veterans Hospital recovering from an illness unknown to the physicians. An ailment of the soul. Dr. Dupree managed to contact me there. He wanted to know my version of the story, what had happened to me in the Battle of Majuba Hill. Do you know why he was so interested in your story? I didn't know immediately, but with time I realized. The truth about what happened to me was important to his activities, as was I myself. But if you think he tricked me, you couldn't be more wrong. I wanted to enter the dragon's mouth. I burned with a need to know. Inside that house, I saw a machine still operating. What is it? A machine? I don't know what you're talking about. That was just one of many places I used as a base for Alexander's activities. The only one whose location I was allowed to know. What was Mr. Dupree doing then? You really don't know, do you? Have you ever heard of the playwright? Yes, I've heard it mentioned before. What is it? As I imagined, you know nothing. Dupree is not alone. He's but the peak of a pyramid, a vast group in which the powerful people take part. A society acting in secret, ruled by a single sacred law. See that no one knows. I was part of it. Dupree himself recommended me. We gathered every month. What we saw, you cannot imagine. A curtain of normalcy protects the mind from something, an outer something. The fog of the veil protected us. But through the veil, we could peek out into the abyss. We could know of the unspeakable shapes that writhe beyond, a black nothingness entirely full of horrors. We could never cross the threshold. What we saw was forbidden. Look at me, forbidden! I could not bear it anymore, so I ran. I ran and I hid from them. It was too late to run or to forget. I must go back to East Hill and try to talk to Miss Cone. If what the captain said is true, she must have been one of them. She could know where to find them. I cannot do this anymore. I don't care, I just want us to be together. You know it's too hard, I don't feel free. I know, dear, I know, we'll figure it out. How were you home so early? I knew all along. How could you? You know you never loved each other. Silence, you have no honor. And you, what do you have to say? Oh, I missed that one, sorry. You wouldn't understand, Enough, you'll leave in the morning. I won't see you ever again. I'll wait for you at dawn under the old windmill, so you can try to recover what little honor you once had. I'll be there. I think this is still chapter 1. And I think the laugh track was supposed to be out of place. I think that was the goal. To be weird. I must have fainted. What's this? Where am I? A matchbox. There's a blanket on the bed. Taking a I'm just gonna tear up the blanket, NBD. Thanks. I cannot see outside clearly. An old piece of furniture. There are marks in the dust on the floor. It looks like this chair has been moved recently. Shifting the chair revealed a small, dark hole in the wall. A small hole in the wall. It's too dark to see inside. The match is too short. I can't stretch my hand in farther either to see what lies beyond the hole. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. There we go. I would swear I saw a pair of feet in there. Who's there? We have met before. I cannot see you. Who are you? Do you not recognize my voice? No, I'm sorry, I don't. Do you know what this place is? It's the starting point. The first place to look. But who are you? What are you doing there? Remember this. I will not be here forever. Darkness will light your way. Stay out of the light. Then I will disappear, and you will be alone in the end. I don't understand. Tell me who you are. Gosh, this is a really long chapter. Is this still the first chapter? It was getting kind of weird, so I thought maybe we were gonna get to the end of it. Oh, now it is getting weird again. Devit, is that you? Devit! Tell me, why are you doing this? Is it because you care about your patients? Or out of scientific curiosity? Is it for your pride? Because it is your professional responsibility? Or is it because it's the right thing to do? Why are you doing this? No, Devit! It's all right, mein liebe Freund. How are you feeling? Feel dizzy. What happened? Where are we? At my house. I went to East Hill to meet you and found you inside one of the cells, unconscious, your clothes stenching of opium smoke. I'd brought you here. You've been out for a day and a half. I think it's coming back to me. I was at one of those opium dens. I might have passed out after breathing that dense smoke. Listen, I have much to tell you. My investigation unearthed a great deal of new information. Alexander was indeed institutionalized in East Hill, but his files were missing. I managed to track down a man who knew him. He told me a story you would not believe, and there was this woman, a patient at the hospital. She was completely out of her mind. She attacked me. What's happening to those people, Kaufman? How is Alexander related to Mr. DeWitt? I think this patient, Miss Cohn, might know how to find Alexander. We must go back there and talk to her, whatever it takes. I'm afraid that will not be possible. What do you mean? Frau Cohn is no longer at East Hill. She escaped last night. God almighty. Do not worry, mein friend. I think I may know where she's hiding. Get ready, we must leave promptly. They are coming. They're letting him in. Now that the door has been opened, they are coming. Ah. Nice. She dead. Nice. All right. I don't think we should start another one tonight. We did 2. And I think the other one might be longer than probably 45 minutes. Especially if I get stuck on something stupid again. So I'm going to wrap it up here. Yeah, that definitely did seem kind of long. So that's fine. We have more time. We have time. I think tomorrow... Oh yeah, tomorrow's Tuesday. So tomorrow I'll be back with Dark Souls. Like usual. We'll see about Wednesday. Maybe Pokemon, maybe this, depending on how morbid I'm feeling. But anyway, yeah, we'll definitely play to the end of this. Don't fear. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I really appreciate it. Well, I guess I will see you guys tomorrow. Everybody have a good night. Bye.